our tween. So let's skip a couple lines down here at the bottom, and let's create a variable to store our home tween, and let's just call it my tween, colon, tween with a capital T, just to tell Flash what kind of variable this is going to be. It's going to store a tween, and we'll set this equal to a new tween. Now, if you've never used the tween class before, be prepared. There's a lot of things we need to put inside the parentheses here. The first thing we need to put here is the object that we're tweening. And the object that we're tweening is going to be this home movie clip that we just created. So we called it home. We'll type in home there, comma. The next thing we need is the property that's being tweened. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to tween the alpha property. We want it to fade from transparent to fully opaque so we can see it. And you'll notice right here in our pop-up code hint, it says property colon string. That means this needs to be in the form of a string. So we can't just type alpha here, because that's not really considered a string. Instead, we need to put alpha inside quotation marks, like so. Okay, so once we close our quotation marks, we'll type comma. The next thing we need is the easing function we want to use. There's a easing class called strong. Let's do strong.ease out. Okay, and you'll notice it puts an opening parenthesis there for us if we use the code hints. We don't need that parentheses at all. So we're just going to do strong.ease out, comma. The next thing we need is the starting and ending value of the property that we're tweening. So we're going to start off at 0, comma, and we're going to end up at 1. Now that's another new thing to ActionScript 3. And ActionScript 2, if you've dealt with the alpha property before, the alpha property went from 0 to 100. In ActionScript 3, it just goes from 0 to 1, 1 being fully visible. Okay, so we have the beginning and ending value of our alpha, comma, and then we need two variables here, or two more values that are going to tell us how long we want this to take. The first value is going to be a number, and the second value is a true-false Boolean value called use seconds. If you type true, then the number that we type in here is going to be in seconds. If we type false, then the number that we type in is going to be in frames. Well, let's say we just want it to take up 1 second. So we'll type 1, comma, true. And then we'll close our parenthesis and put a semicolon at the end. Now this true is telling us that this number right here is in seconds. So it's going to take 1 second for this tween to finish animating. Okay, so let's see if that works. Control Enter to test. And it does fade in. It fades in awfully quickly, so we can hardly see it. We might, for a second, extend this out to about 3 seconds, just so we can see it a little better. Control Enter to test, and it takes a little bit longer to fade in. But I'm going to go ahead and set this back to 1. We want this to be pretty quick. So we've gotten the home page to fade in. In the next video, we'll talk about how we can add code for our other buttons that's going to cause our home page to fade out and something else to fade in. So, File, Save As, and we'll call this AS Transitions for ActionScript Transitions. So AS Transitions 01, since we'll have multiple versions of this. So we'll save that in the project files folder, and we'll move on with the next video.